Okay, I want to do a little experiment today, which starts by going into my projects folder and creating a new project called Scene, because I want to build a messenger from scratch, which shows people the reactions to having seen a message in video form. So it records a tiny clip when you see a message from somebody, and then the other person can see the message of you receiving the content, okay? And I think what I want to do is build an iOS app with a Django server locally for now. And it's been a long time since I've been working with Django. I do feel like I'll have to quickly make sure that my emails aren't open right now because I had some issues with Twitch not allowing me to sign in, which is always fun. Okay, so now we have a clean slate. We have a clean folder for both iOS and Django. I believe that we should make a to-do list and we should open it in Visual Studio Code. Oh, I'm opening a non-existing file. That's great. Let's try that again. Okay, so in my opinion, it's best VP together front end and back end at the same time. And I think it's always a good idea to start with authentication. So how about we do epics like this? We call it off. Um, and then I think this is how you indent things in Markdown in a toggle switch list. It is indeed not how you do that. Well, step one, let's Google how we do Markdown checkboxes. Before the, but how do you do it? Isn't that exactly what I'm doing right here? Well, that's fun. Maybe my VS Code doesn't support checkboxes? I don't think it does because that's exactly the format I'm using as well. Well, no beautiful checkboxes then, but that's okay. Okay, so for the auth epic, we have a Django user model. We have a UUID secret auth. Well, I guess we should kick things off with setup, right? So what we want to do is use my own API Swift UI library that I wrote, which is just one Swift file, to very easily do REST calls from iOS. Then we also want to set up Django REST. And I think that should be all for now. We don't have to go overboard with what kind of libraries we're getting started with. We will definitely need WebSockets at some point. I think for now it's sufficient to just go with REST. And for the MVP, it might just be service send events because they don't require any special setup with um, load balancers and stuff like that. So let's do a very quick stack list. And here's what I want to be working with. I want to be working with Django, Django REST. I want to be working with Swift UI. I want to be working with service send events. I want to use Mux for videos eventually as soon as we get there. Let's see how the timeline works out here. And I want to do UUID secret token for auth. And for now, let's just give everybody a username. So I think we have a username, we have what do we have? Maybe a name. Let's just misuse the first name field for this and have no last name for people. And I think that's a good starting point. Now, of course, it's going to have created date, updated date, yada, yada, yada. I think Django has that out of the box. So maybe we just create a new section called models. And let's remove these here because there's no checkbox. And of course, it's not really a Django user. Any, it's fine for now. Okay, I forgot to add the checkbox here, even though we can't see it. It's kind of nice to keep track of it. So let's get started with Django. It's been a while since I've set up a Django project. Well, I guess the very first thing we're going to do is go to Django and do the regular pyenv setup. There we go. And then I think we just pip install Django. And I do remember the name of Django REST framework being spelled like this. That should be correct. So let's just get started with Django REST framework then. Click start, create a new Django project name tutorial. So what I usually tend to do is installed apps, right? Well, create a REST project. No. Okay, quick start. Quick start guide. Okay. So what I usually tend to do is call my things config, which is a little bit cheeky because now we have the config folder with the settings inside of it. Isn't that neat? And then we would usually go ahead and create an app, which you do with create app or something. Start app, of course. Start app scene. Cool. And why would he do this? I don't think that is required. Yeah, now we have config and scene. That is the way I intend this to look. So let's just close out of VS Code for now, open this folder, and just re-add the to-do markdown to the current editor. Yes, perfect. Okay. So we have, I think, if I remember correctly, you should have added the scene app to the installed apps. It did not, so that's always fun. And then does Django serve just work? No, I think it's Python manage serve, right? Run server naturally. Yeah, we have unapplied migrations. That's great. Okay. So how about we migrate and we make migrations. Cool. We do want to add a super user. Do we even want to do that? I don't think so. Ain't nobody gonna need a super user. Now, I do wonder if we shouldn't add Django REST framework to the installed apps because it's not here. So let's go ahead and go back one tab to what we've just seen before because they do install added to the installed apps right here. Now, is it before or after the app that we just installed? Great question. Well, who cares? Django CSRF middleware, because we want to disable that. I've written this a million times. I do think that my bubble server repo still has it as a separate file in the config middleware. Let's hope I added this here somewhere. Config settings disable. There it is. Yes, baby. And it's at the very top. Okay. Now next up, we do definitely want to install black, because I cannot go any more seconds without proper formatting. How do I set my prettier formatter? Python. Then it just, you know what, I'm just gonna restart VS Code and then it should work, huh? Let's see if that's gonna work. Peace. No, it's still single quotes. That cannot stand. I will not allow this. I do think there should be a linter. Select linter. Black. What? Use black in VS Code. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Why can't I set a formatter? Like, that usually always works. Format document force. Okay, let's just open settings for the workspace and now search for the formatter for Python. Python formatter. Provider. Provider. Yes. Okay, now we finally got it. Now it should be able to format my document, hopefully. What is happening? Jesus Christ. Anyway, we'll figure it out later. Okay. Disable CRF. Here it is. We put that right up here after installed apps. And now we should have a fully running server. I guess we still have to migrate. We have to import middleware mixin, which is this line right here. And why not import it right here? It's a bit of an anti-pattern to not put the import at the top, but we just need to make migrations maybe. I don't think anything is adding any migrations right now. There goes my charger. I guess we'll run chargerless for now. I'll plug it back in a second. Okay. Now we have the server running right here. And we should be able to use JSON. Yeah, so this is definitely required because otherwise it's going to try to render pages as weird HTML documentation pages. We don't like that. We just want to do JSON. And This one, I have no idea what it is. We're gonna disable it for now. And we probably also want to install this weird camera facing thing. Does it occur anywhere else? No, it's just right here. Okay, so how about we take a look at the requirements.txt and search for camel facing, and it should be immediately functional after adding it. Perfect. So now we have a full server setup, which serves REST requests. So now we start adding some endpoints to this. So how do we do these views again? I don't think we want to do, yeah, whatever. We don't want to do the method-based views. I think we want to do class-based views because they're just way cooler. And they allow us to do this fancy stuff like the model serializers, which I do think we want to use. And the serializers are written like this. Well, maybe we just start it simple for now and just do the class-based views, but we don't use any serializers because I don't think we're gonna have data for now that we're gonna be sending back and forth. I do have to get back into how these serializers work because it's been a minute since I've used them. Okay, so how about we get started with our register view? The register view is gonna create a new user and return the session cookie. I think I will take one quick break of 1 minute and then I'll be right back. Because it does appear that Twitch may have just fixed the login issues. We'll see if that works. So let me just quickly take a look at my email and see what they are saying. Twitch is asking for my email, for my IP address. Oh, damn. Jesus Christ. They're asking for my IP address, my date of birth, everything. Good job, Twitch. That's how security works. Okay. I replied to Twitch. I will take one quick break and be back in a minute or so. You can marvel at this beautiful rework in the meantime. I'll also probably plug in the charger again. Hopefully it's not gonna knock itself out. Okay, should be good to go. Charging. I hope. Yes. Okay. Okay. Let's just check if I closed my email before I left. I did not. Good job. Okay. Good job. So we want to do a Django REST view. Three class base views. What if you want to do more than three? Okay. So let's just take all of this, and then there should also be Django programmatic login. Uh, so does make you wonder. There isn't a parameter for like middleware or something. There's usually an index 0 to get the first bubble server, and then app services off login. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. How did I do this before? Ah, like this. Okay. So we have to import settings and login. Okay, okay. So how about we just create a new profile, call it auth.py. We define login as something that happens to a username. And then we do exactly this. Oh, we also have to go to request. Coolio. All right. And it's probably better to go to user and not to username. That makes it more versatile. So let's remove this stupid parameter that I'm never. And let's call this register view. We don't have get here, we just have post. And I think we can usually just get return test, and we return request.data. Let's see how this is going to work. Run server, and then we can curl localhost 48,000. Oh, we don't have a route yet. Okay, that's not a problem. So I think that the way this one works is that we can do this and duplicate this file here, and then just say register and use import views dot register view, I think. But actually, no, that's wrong because we need to do it as view, which is always fun. Okay, and then the only thing that's left is to import it forward slash. And for that, we do scheme dot view URLs dot URL patterns. import Steam. Right? Does that work? Has no attribute URLs. Okay. You got URLs. Import views. No model name views. Well, I beg to differ. I think I might be missing a dot. Aha. Right, of course. Uh-huh. Um, well, I thought I to import the current directory. Isn't there a dot in front of it? I could swear there is. Dot something? No. Import from views, import star, and then just remove this, maybe? No more than snippets. We're getting there. We're getting there. Getting better. Okay, so now I'm not importing the sub URLs correctly. I kind of knew that was a thing, but I don't think it's like this. I think you have to call it like include or something. Include. Okay. Django URL include. Path, right. Include module namespace. Include pattern list. Include pattern list namespace. No. Django URL patterns include subpath. Because I do want to have slash in front of it, like just with the admin. Oh, so that's the way it works, right? So we have, we still want to have include, right? But then we wrap this in the include function. Maybe? General's config. Okay, well, maybe we need to start it. It's like we're good. Register? No. Not working. Uh-huh. Yeah, that doesn't seem to be it. Okay, so what the fuck? Django path include. Yeah, like that's exactly what I'm doing. However, I don't really want to do it by string. If you feel me, like this. I don't know. I register. Nope, not working. Django URL include array. Yes. No. Come on, man. I know that there's a better way than this. I know that there's a better way than this. How did I do it here? I could swear that I found another way to do this. Config URLs. From app include URLs. There it is, exactly like I wrote it here. I mean, like this, probably, right? Yeah, what the heck? What's not working here then? From app import URLs. This is the exact URL, so let me put it here. Just remove the slash. Shocked. Shocked. Oh, it's not working out. Okay, okay. It was just a slash. You just add the slash if you have a sub. Yeah, okay, that actually makes sense. Julio. No. What's next? Curl. Post. Register. And then we add some data to it. And we call the data token 1, 2, 3. Uh-huh. Well, excusez-moi. Is it because of the stupid slash at the end of that? Oh. How bizarre. How bizarre. Okay, let's try to read some HTML, shall we? Let's not try to read some HTML. Oh, God damn it. Okay, I think I know what's happening here, and I think it is that we didn't really succeed in returning JSON by default. Um, so let's search for Django REST always return JSON. How about that? I think I forgot to wrap it in response. This is response. Well, let's see. Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna try first. Just wrap this in response. Okay. Response. And let's try again. This might actually immediately work. Does. Perfect. Okay. And now we call this thing secret that we want to get from it. And this is Python, so we have to do it like this. And let's call this secret. Does not work. Cool. Do we maybe do it this way? No. That's a problem. Django REST framework request data JSON. I swear that we don't have to parse this stuff every single time, right? Parse content of the body. It includes all parse content. Supports parsing the content of HTTP requests. REST framework's flexible request parsing. Other than this form data. For example, you can JSON data. Okay, well, I don't think that's actually true because I have data right here. I'm posting data like there and it's not working. So, what the heck's up with that? Let's just print it for now. I mean, we're never even getting the error code because I haven't checked the what's going on here. Multi-value dict key error. Secret. And what is this then? Secret? You tell me. You tell me. Oh no. Set the content type header. I'm sure we can. I'm sure we can find a workaround for this. Like, DRF always use content type header. JSON. Default content negotiation class. Okay. Django REST framework, always content type JSON. Enforce content type. Make content type not required. Dang. Yes, please. That's completely wrong. Post. DRF default content type maybe. REST framework negotiation. Yeah. No, but I don't want to accept something. Oh. Oh. My last response. Do I just always have content type to JSON in every single test request? I think that might just be the fast way to get started. Okay, so we have the secret is this, and then first up, let's create a user object that inherits from user. And go set user class. Customize authentication. I think there's like a lot of ways of doing this. You can either inherit the user object. Yeah. API URLs would be a horrible, horrible name for that. Look, let's just use the normal user, right? And just add a new filter. We can extend the base user Django add field to by either subclassing user or base user. I'm not 100% sure which one it is. This sucks. No, I'm not going to do that. I also don't want to do abstract user. I think the way it works is that you subclass the base user model. So let's see if I did that in my previous last Django project. I did actually do abstract user, which is interesting. Did have a username. Do I just copy this one then? Probably. And do I set it in the settings as well? Yes, the user model? I did. Okay, well, then in that case, maybe fuck it. Let's use this one. Might just be the smartest way of doing it. We don't need to override save or string or description, indices. Yeah, let's not just do like let's not do any of this. Right. So how about we take this thing, pump it into our models, and don't have any legacy code, so we don't need this. We don't really have an ID, so let's just use the UUID. Do we need a user? That's the question. If we don't need one, I don't want to have one. Really? Okay. Last active agent, whatever that means. We don't need invites, go through that, no login code, no locking, no author code, none of this. Hey, I'm not sure if I do need a username, you know? Because this is going to be the primary key. Oh, if it is the primary key, then we don't need to do any of this stuff. So maybe just use this as the string method. Of course, cast it to string because it's a friggin' unity thing. Yep. I think I forgot about this one. Just UUID last active, and then we do actually need to. Oh, after all of this, I do want to re-add the index because I do want to create one for secrets, which is a UUID field, which is not the primary key, and it doesn't have a default. All right. Oh, maybe it has a default. So what are we importing here? We're importing models, abstract user, and UUID. Just the first ones. Perfect. And here we go. Yeah, I am creating my models here. Thank you very much. Q and F. I don't think we need that just yet. That's for querying later. And we also don't need to encode it just yet. And we also don't need the time zones just yet. We'll actually do. So we have auto now. We actually don't. And we're not sure. Fucking damn it. Well, that's okay. So let's see what we can do with this. So we go to our config and set the off model to something new, namely to scene dot user. It's right after base tier. Yeah, why not? Scene dot user. So let's see what happens if we start doing make migrations. Office not defined. Understandable. Well, line 46. Let's maybe just remove it for now. Uh-huh. Migrate. Okay. How about remove the database and try again? Cool. And if we run the server now, we're all good. We don't need a username. Who needs a username? The only thing we need is a UUID and a secret. So, by that token, how about we start adding the view to register user? New user equals user, which we haven't imported yet. With a secret of secret. And I do believe that everything else has a default attached to it. Everything has a default attached to it. So we're all good. Okay. Then we save this thing. We log in, which we import from auth for the current request. This user. And we're golden. And we can very easily duplicate this as the okay, so if user objects autocomplete doesn't work. Shit. That is a problem. VS Code Django OSS 2018. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Biggest fan of this one. Let's see. Objects. Please. Please, please give it to me. No. Oh. No. Ah. Oh my god. Raise 4-2. I have no idea if this is how any of this works, but let's give it a try. And same thing, if not secret. Okay, let's see. What do we have if we try to register? Oops. Well, that's supposed to be in here. It's not a valid user. That is correct. That is very much correct. Let's see how we feel about this one. What's your problem now? User's not defined. Well, you do have a point, sir. Yes, we did raise 4-4 because it isn't existing ID. So now let's just go ahead and call it D at the end instead. Aha. Oh, really? Ooh. So maybe we do need this field then. Not the biggest fan of this one. Okay. In that case, I think what we should do is harm or scene/migrations. And delete the database and make migrations. String view ID is not defined, huh? That kind of makes sense because it would be a lambda turning nothing to view ID that gets string. Cannot serialize function. Of course you can't. Yes, no, I should work. But seriously though, like why don't we have black? Like the formatter. If I put a spacer, it's just not formatting it. Ugh, what is wrong with my Python extension? Like it's just not formatting it. What? What is any of this? Why would it use prettier? Let's just disable prettier for this workspace. It's just not doing it. What's happening? It's just not doing it. What the heck? What's wrong? How can I? Maybe Python? Maybe Python language server? Cancel notification. Oh, I don't like this. Why is black not working? Workspace settings. Python provider. Black. Not working. Python black. iPad. Python black. I have no idea. Ah, I hate all of this. This code Python format 9. When was this created? 2019. Wow. What happens if I just run black? It works. So fuck you. That's what I think. Because the path was correct. And I don't even know where I can see the output of it. Ah. I hate this. Oh. Okay. I need a break. Just 1 second. I'll be right back. Stupid charger. Yellow. We are so back. Let's take a look at all the extensions I have installed and filter them by Python. I said all the extensions I have installed. I guess you can't filter by anything, which is amazing. So we have linting debugging, code formatting. Uh-huh. Um, so by that token, why the heck does it not format the code? None of this makes any sense, dude. Like, format document just doesn't run. Uh, format document action. I use blacks and these colored rocks. Uh-huh. Well, I do have those two settings already enabled, and it's not going to change anything. Formatting with black. Yeah, it's just not fucking working, dude. What the frick? Module black not installed. Wait, what? Wait, Python. Oh my god. I'm such an idiot. Oh, holy cow. Okay. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna re-enable Prettier. I will eat my hat because I'm a bit of an idiot. And I will not make this mistake ever again, hopefully. So, anyway, we were discussing that I needed to redo all of the migrations, and I needed to migrate everything again because the username field should actually be present in our abstract user model. So let's see if this fixes things. It does not seem to be fixing things. Expected a response, but received a none type. Well, that's maybe because I'm returning nothing. Return response status 0. Well, now it already exists because this secret is already a thing, right? Yeah, that's good. Okay. Coolio. So what we're going to be doing now is to get some. So we have user equals get secret, and then we sign them in, and we return the status of okay. Now, this doesn't work anymore because the secret already exists. However, if I change this to login and previously go to the URLs and add a login, then we are golden and we're signed in. And we get a cookie back. And we can see the cookie with -v. Bam. The CSRF token doesn't matter, but the session ID does. And that's the one that we're going to be keeping track of. Okay. So what's going to happen next is we're going to develop the parallel to that on the clients. So we have Django REST set up. Next up, we will set up the client. In order to do that, we will create a new project in Xcode. New project, which is an app, which is called Scene. Swift UI, no core data. .ysprint is okay. However, I prefer code.stream. And we store this in the Scene folder. And we will save. We close out of it, and then we probably have two folders here now. One called Scene, one called iOS. We just move everything from the Scene folder into the iOS folder, including hidden files. Okay, and now let's open iOS project. Here we are. Hello world. Let's start by adding a new file. Well, let's get this structure straight. Let's add a new folder. No, that's not how that works. And we call it service. And we have a service that we call rest. And we go to my most recent project, which is the hyperlocal app, which has a very beautiful service inside of it. Two very beautiful services inside of it. One called API with a REST extension, and one is just called REST. Let's just get this one into rest.swift and remove all of the headers. And then we also have the JSON Swift, which is also a very beautiful file that we'll be adding here. Let's call it, Swift file. No, Swift file, JSON.swift. And we remove the header again and store it. Okay. I think we could get started with the API.swift as well. Let's just get this as a little template. And I've written all of this code from scratch, so I'm very familiar with all of the different implications of adding this code. Okay, so what I think we should start with is adding the API one method at a time. We probably want to do this little shortcut here. We don't really have any op right now, so let's just return a request in. And remove all of this for now. But we might use it later, and it's a nice little thing to have. This we don't really need at all. Okay. And this, we are actually working on 88,000 and not 8080. I think we just add an API in front of this, huh? That's probably gonna make everything a lot easier. Julio. Let's just remove this for now. We don't remove this little helper class. And let's just use a little register endpoint as a starting place. And we won't have that, so that's fine. You know what? I think we can keep the V1 there because I think it's going to be a good idea to keep versioning the URLs. That's usually a good idea. Okay. Let's remove everything except for the register endpoint, and we're good to go. we post to the URL, just register. Does make you wonder if we should maybe add a slash at the end of it. I mean, we're not really doing a slash at the end of this one, right? Yeah. So in that case, I think we're fine. I think we are fine. Yeah, no slash at the end of it. And what we want to do is create a script. And I think we just get it in as a string. Okay, coolio. And we should be good to go. Now we return this, so we have the static func register. It should be trillion, I guess. And it gets in the result, which is of type JSON. And for now, we just debug print the results. How about that? Okay. Right. A stand in front of the arrow. Yeah, why not? Why not? Okay. The build succeeded. We do have an empty thing that requires an explicit type. I don't know what that's all about. That's fine. How about we just add that? We download something as string. How about that, huh? Cool. No more warnings, no more arrows, just an empty content view. So how about we add a task to this? And we call await rest.register. Which doesn't work because we actually have it. We do API.register, not rest of register. Register, and here we just create a UUID string. Okay. Now let's run this on the simulator. I think an iPhone 14 Pro is usually a good place to start. And we're going to see if registering works. And more importantly, we should start adding a whammy endpoint, which is going to be a whammy view, and it has a get, and it returns username, which is request user. Jesus Christ. Request user. Is authenticated. No. And our request user is authenticated. I'm not. If request user is authenticated. User name is equal to request user username if else no. There we go. I guess we should be consistent with the naming scheme, no underscores if a model doesn't have them either, and it doesn't. So, what happened here? Did we register successfully? I would assume that we did. Let's see. So how about we, yeah, that's fine. Um, how about we, I mean, we're debug printing it, right? So we better see something in the printout here. The server with the specified host name could not be found. And, oh, it's because we're trying to sign in. Yes, that actually makes sense. Okay, 200, I think we authenticated. So let's do the whammy next. Public static function whammy consistent, and we whammy it. Kind of annoying that you always have to add the URL as well. It would be kind of neat if there was a like automatic view name to URL thing somewhere. Yep, with nothing. And this one returns a string question mark because we want to return the JSON username string. Okay. Uh-huh. Cool. So let's not do this right now and do print await API.whammy. Let's see what we get back. Nil. So that's not great. Method not allowed. Ooh, well, it should gonna be a get. How about that? Please tell me the cookie has been stored. It has, which means that every single time we'll get back the same username. That's amazing, actually. Okay, so we have successfully authenticated our user, which is good, which is great, actually. And what's next is to actually create some data for the user to be able to see. And I think the first thing we're going to have is conversations and messages. I think messages should have a type, string, which is either going to be text, image, or video. And they're going to have a media URL, which is going to be optional because text doesn't have a media URL. So do we just get started with that? Create a model, start adding some data. I did get a message from Twitch, so I might just be starting to live stream this. Maybe. Let me just check what Twitch wrote. Okay, apparently they did. So how about we do that right now?